People often believe they understand a person the moment they see a uniform, a job title, or a place in the room. They decide worth based on visibility, importance based on status, and strength based on volume. But life is a quiet way of proving them wrong. This is a story about love, pride, silence, and the cost of underestimating someone who chose humility over recognition. Sophia Hart was a woman built by ambition. She didn't inherit success. She carved it out of rejection letters, sleepless nights, and years of proving she belonged in rooms where she was never welcomed easily. By 40, she was a CEO of one of Chicago's fastest-growing logistics technology firms. Her name appeared in business magazines. Her speeches were quoted online. Her schedule was packed with board meetings, interviews, and investor calls. Power followed her everywhere, but so did distance. At home, her marriage existed in quiet contrast to her public life. Her husband, Michael Hart, lived a routine that never crossed into a professional world. While Sophia commanded conference rooms filled with executives, Michael worked night shifts as a building security officer in downtown Chicago. His uniform was plain. His duties were repetitive. His presence was almost invisible. And Sophia preferred it that way. Not because she didn't love him. She did, but because she feared what people would think. She had worked too hard to be taken seriously. She didn't want whispers. She didn't want judgment. She didn't want anyone to see her life as mismatched. So she separated her worlds. At corporate dinners, when someone casually asked, "What does your husband do?" Sophia would smile politely and answer vaguely, "He works in facilities management." Michael never corrected her. He never asked for recognition. He never demanded explanation. He had learned long ago that silence was sometimes the strongest shield. Years earlier, when they first met, things were different. Sophia was still climbing then. She was sharp but uncertain, driven but exhausted. Michael had been the calm in her chaos. He listened when she doubted herself. He supported her through failures she never spoke about publicly. When her first startup collapsed, he stood beside her while the world walked away. Back then, she saw him. But success changes perspective. The more Sophia rose, the more she unknowingly began looking down. Michael noticed it in small moments. The way she avoided introducing him. The way she changed subjects when coworkers were around. The way she dressed him out of photographs without realizing it. Still, he said nothing. Because love, to him, wasn't loud. It was patient. The turning point came during the company's annual leadership summit. It was a high-profile event held in a luxury hotel ballroom overlooking the city skyline. Investors flew in from across the country. Industry leaders filled the room. Sophia was the centerpiece of the evening, confident, elegant, admired. Michael was working security that night. Not for her company, for the venue. He stood near the back entrance, posture straight, eyes observant, movements controlled. Most people walked past him without noticing. A few nodded. None remembered his face. Sophia noticed him immediately, and she looked away. As the evening progressed, conversations grew louder, egos grew bigger, and alcohol loosened tongues. During a panel discussion, a prominent investor named Richard Cole made a casual remark that shifted the energy in the room. "Sophia," he said with a smirk, "I heard an interesting rumor. Is it true your husband works security?" The room grew still. Sophia laughed nervously. "Well," she replied, choosing her words carefully, "everyone contributes in their own way." The silence that followed was heavy. Michael heard it all. He felt the words land, not like an insult, but like distance finally spoken out loud. Still, he didn't react. He didn't move. He didn't let his face reveal what his heart absorbed. Later that night, at home, Sophia tried to explain. "You know how people are," she said. "It's not personal." Michael listened quietly. Then he said something she didn't expect. "One day, you'll realize that what you hide eventually controls you." She brushed it off. She didn't know that night marked the beginning of everything unraveling. A few weeks later, Sophia's company became the target of a hostile acquisition attempt. Legal pressure mounted. Anonymous threats appeared in her inbox. Deals began falling apart mysteriously. Someone wanted her out. She worked later than usual, refusing to show weakness. One night, while the office floor was nearly empty, the building's power suddenly went out. Emergency lights flickered on. Her phone lost signal. Footsteps echoed. Fear rose fast. 3 men entered the hallway, their intentions clear. They weren't there to talk. They cornered her near the conference room, demanding access to confidential files. Before Sophia could respond, a calm voice cut through the tension. "Step away from her." Michael emerged from the shadows, not the Michael she knew at home. This version moved differently. His voice was controlled, commanding. His stance was protective, precise. The confrontation lasted seconds. What followed felt unreal. Michael disarmed one man before the others even reacted. He used minimal force, calculated movements, and complete awareness of his surroundings. Within moments, all 3 attackers were on the floor, restrained, helpless. When police arrived, Sophia was shaking, not from fear, from realization. In the quiet that followed, she asked a question she had never thought to ask before. "Who are you?" Michael didn't answer immediately. Then he told her the truth. Years ago, before they met, he had served in a classified federal tactical unit. His work involved crisis response, counter-terror operations, and protection assignments that never made headlines. He left because he was tired of violence, tired of secrets, tired of living in constant alert. He wanted peace. He chose anonymity. He chose her. Sophia listened, tears forming, shame settling deep in her chest. She finally understood. She hadn't married beneath her. She had married beyond her understanding. From that night forward, things changed. Sophia publicly acknowledged Michael, not his past, not his skills, but his value. At company events, she introduced him with pride, not as a title, but as her partner. And Michael remained the same, quiet, grounded, strong, because the greatest strength was never in what he could do, but in what he chose not to prove. And Sophia learned a lesson she carried for the rest of her life. Never measure someone by what the world allows you to see, because sometimes the person standing in the shadows is the one holding everything together.